Hi friend, today we're going to propagate ZZ plants together. They're also known as Zamioculcas Zamifolia, and this technique applies to all ZZ plants across the board. And watch the video until the end where I share you a bonus tip on how to propagate this plant as well. So first of all, I want to choose the cutting. So I want to choose a stem that's nice and plump and firm to the touch. You don't want to choose a stem that's actually thin because the propagation is less likely to work. Also, you want to choose a stem that has mature leaves on it rather than a stem that has immature leaves, that the leaves are still developing. The reason behind that is that if you choose a stem that has immature leaves, the propagation may take longer to work or it may not work at all. Get your clean clippers. You want to cut the stem, nice clean sharp cut, and then pop this stem into about a container that has about 3 inches of water. That's roughly around about 5-6 centimeters of water. And also with the water, you don't need any special water. Tap water is fine. Then pop the cutting into an area where it receives a lot of bright indirect sunlight. It can handle a few hours of morning sunlight. Definitely want to avoid the harsh afternoon sunlight because that afternoon sunlight can actually burn the leaves of the cutting. And then once that's done, you want to replace the water once a week. And you'll notice that after about 2 or 3 months, you'll start to see roots growing. Certainly doing propagation in spring and summer, the roots will grow faster. These are ones that I did during the mid of winter in Melbourne. So the actual roots took longer to actually grow. And once the roots are at least 1 inch long, it's time to transfer it into soil. You don't want to leave the cuttings into water for too long. Otherwise it will end up being a water plant. It's going to be harder to transfer it into soil. Also, if you notice that you see these little bulbs at the end of the stems, don't cut them off because that's the rhizome, which is part of the root system of the plant. And this is an area, or it's like a little bulb, where the actual plant holds a lot of its nutrients, a lot of its energy, so the actual cutting will grow faster once it's in soil. The soil mixture I'm using today consists of 50% potting mix, 50% cacti soil, a little bit of perlite, a little bit of horticultural charcoal. You certainly don't have to be exact, just approximate it. I'm just using a plastic pot that has a lot of drainage holes in it. Definitely have a pot that has drainage holes because this type of plant is very prone to root rot. So you want the soil to be well draining and the pot to have holes to help with that drainage as well. So once that's done, I will half fill the pot up. I get my cuttings. So these were done about 3 months ago. I pop it into the soil. I backfill the pot up and I tap down the soil to make sure that the cutting is firmly in the soil. The cuttings are roughly around about 2 inches below the soil. And then I use tap water just to lightly water the plant. I certainly don't want the soil to be soggy. Once again, that can cause root rot if the soil is soggy. Then I pop the plant in the area where it will receive a lot of bright indirect sunlight all day long. And once that's done, that's it. That's how to propagate it. But for your bonus tip, if you notice that when you're propagating, some leaves fall up, definitely don't throw those leaves away because you can propagate a ZZ plant through the leaves. The leaves propagations may take longer for an actual plant to grow, but still you can use it. All you need to do is pop the stem about 1 inch below the soil and do the same. Just water that area and keep the soil nice and moist for a couple of weeks. And then after that, go back to making sure that the soil is completely dry before you re-water it again. And that's how easy it is to propagate a ZZ plant. And if you did like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. And also watch this video here where I explain on how to take care of a ZZ plant. See you there.